What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Bookmas. Today I'm so excited because you guys are actually going to choose what I read in today's video. But the twist is that you have chosen blindly. I have seen this trend all over booktube and I have been wanting to do it for so long. I think the first person I ever saw do it was Sarah Caroli. So shout out to Sarah, love her channel, go check her out. I feel like if you are already into booktube, you already know and love Sarah. She's amazing, go check her out. I'll link her videos down below. But if you have no idea what I'm talking about, basically I put up this poll on Instagram. I ended up doing 3 of these, but I will reveal them after I finish each book. So this is the very first poll. I had 2 options and as you can see, the one on the left won by a mile. So that is the book we are going to be reading today. But the only way that you could vote on these books was through the emoji combination clues. So I'm going to reveal what those book options were for this very first poll. Drum roll, please. Here is the original photo. In today's video, we are reading The Golden Couple. And I'm really excited for this one. I think that this is going to be really good. The Golden Couple is written by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen, so a little writer duo. I actually chose this book as an add-on in one of my Book of the Month boxes. So in this book, we have the Golden Couple themselves, Marissa and Matthew. These two seem to have it all until Marissa is unfaithful and cheats on Matthew. They decide to go to therapy, which is where Avery comes in, and she's a very unorthodox therapist. Her whole slogan is anti-therapy, and she actually lost her therapist license, but that doesn't stop her from counseling those in crisis. The inside cover says, when they glide through Avery's door and Marissa reveals her infidelity, all 3 are set on a collision course because the biggest secrets in the room are still hidden and it's no longer simply a marriage that's in danger. No idea what to expect with this one, but we know that all 3 of these people have secrets and they are going to come to light. I ended up starting this one last night. I'm only on page 24 right now, and right now we have a POV from Avery, the therapist, and also the POV of Marissa, the one who cheated on her husband. So 24 pages in, I don't really have much to go off of, but I definitely think there is more to Marissa than meets the eye. And the therapist Avery seems very calculating. So far so good. This book is so wild. I am on page 132, chapter 17. And so far, I really like this book. There is just like this huge web that you're trying to untangle. There are so many intersecting storylines and so many people surrounding this couple that somehow have some involvement in their lives. It just feels like everyone is somehow connected to the Bishops, which is the couple. But even weirder, there is some sort of thread that is also connecting Avery, the therapist, to the Bishops as well, outside of their therapy sessions, of course. Like, everyone's lives are so intertangled. So the whole time you're reading, you're just trying to figure out how everyone connects, and I love that. Honestly, this is a very easy read. If it wasn't such a busy weekend that I started this on, I feel like I would have already breezed on through this book. It's really good, and I do have like a couple theories on how certain people are connected and what's going to happen in the end, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm completely off base. Like, I really don't know what to expect. The plan is to finish this one today. Tomorrow I am hopping on a plane to Arizona, so I want to bring my next book along with me, so I gotta put in some work today. I finished The Golden Couple and it was so good. I'm a little bit like iffy on how I feel about the ending. It's not my favorite ending, and by the time you kind of get all the clues and all the pieces and put it together, you know what's coming, so it's a little bit predictable, I guess. But the journey to get there was so much fun, and you kind of have like a little bit of an unreliable narrator situation. Not that they're necessarily unreliable, but they're not forthcoming in their POVs about everything that's going on. So you're still like slowly unraveling secrets as you chug along. Those are always my favorite. I love piecing together a puzzle, but I would definitely recommend this one. It was a fun read, an easy read, a quick one. I really read this one very quickly. I did end up giving it 4 stars. Maybe 3.5 would be better, but I don't know. I just enjoyed it so much. There was a lot of twists and turns that I definitely did not see coming. But like I said, there are a few things that are a little bit predictable. Personally, I don't mind a little predictability when it comes to thrillers. I do like to be surprised and like kept on my toes. But when there's like too many twists and turns and it's like they're making it up as they go, I don't love that. So I feel like this one made sense. So we're off to a really good start. But like I said, I gotta catch a flight tomorrow. So let's do our reveal of the poll for our next book. So here is the next poll. I had 2 options. On the left, we have a more Christmassy read. And on the right, because I knew I was going to read it for my trip, I had one with a little bit more of like a travel setting. But of course, I should have known. You guys chose the Christmas one. So here is what the original picture is on the left, and the winner of today's poll is Love, Hailie by Emily Stone. I am pretty excited to get into this one. Also, I just think this cover is so stinking cute. In this book, we have the main character Hailie, who is a part of the Lonely Hearts Holiday Letter Writing Club. Each December, she writes to a stranger who is also spending Christmas alone and receives a letter from another lonely person in return. The letters are anonymous. The senders write whatever is in their heart. This year, the letter that Hailie receives is a little bit different. Not only is the letter relatable, she has gone through this sort of grief, so she can definitely relate to whoever wrote it, but the writer also mentions a place that Hailie has been to before. So when Hailie realizes that she might actually be able to track down the sender of this letter, she sets out on a journey to connect the letter writer with her estranged grandson, Jack, who is what she wrote the letter all about. Hailie is determined if she can fix Emma's family, she might also be able to fix her own. This one sounds really fun and definitely a very different vibe from our last book. A little bit more cozy, heartwarming, might even shed a tear or two. I don't know what's in store for me. I actually have to get to packing. I have to leave the house at 3:30 a.m. tomorrow. So I'm going to pack this one away and I will get back to you. See you soon. Hi besties, I am back from my trip, which was actually Thanksgiving because as you know, I am pre-filming all of these videos. So unfortunately, I do not actually have any footage to share from this trip because it was just so chaotic. My whole family went to Arizona and I just did not have time to film, nor did I have time to read, but I finished this book. So as you saw from the previous clip, I was listening to Love, Hailie on audiobook because Spotify just added audiobooks and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try this out for the plane because typically I get kind of like car sick feeling when I'm reading on a plane. So I was like, let me try the audiobook. And normally I cannot do audiobooks. I've tried so many times and it's just like the narration, it's hard for me to listen to. Like the voices are weird, like I can't pay attention. There's too many things going on and I can't zone in on it. For some reason, this worked for me. So the entirety of my trip, I listened to the audiobook while I was on the flight, while I was doing my makeup and my hair and getting ready in the mornings. And then when I came home, I only had a few more chapters left. So I listened to it as I was working and getting things done. And oh my gosh, I cannot believe I finished an entire book on audiobook. I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm going to be an audiobook girly. I think that this just worked out for the time being because it was just such a crazy, chaotic week. But also, this book just instantly hooked me and I cannot rave enough about this book. If you are picking up holiday reads, Christmas reads, oh my gosh, please pick this up. This was heartbreaking and heartwarming all at once. The love story intertwined in here is just beautiful. This book actually starts off with the main character Hailie and her sister getting into a car wreck that ended up tearing their family apart, and she hasn't seen them for the last 3 years since the incident. Her friend makes her sign up for the Lonely Hearts Christmas letters, which each person that is sending a letter or receiving a letter is alone for Christmas, and they write a letter to an anonymous stranger talking about anything really, but most of the time they're talking about why they're alone or what's going on in their life. And Holly realized that she knew exactly where to find her stranger, because you do get their name, but you don't get their contact info. So she had a couple things to work with here, and she's like, I'm tracking this woman down. The woman has cancer, and she's like, I don't want her to be alone for the holidays. I want to help her. So imagine her shock when that stranger is not oh so welcoming to her and is like, why did you track me down, you little freak? Anyway, turns out that stranger, Emma, was actually in a car wreck of her own that also tore her family apart. So they are grieving in similar ways, which is why Holly felt so connected to her and wanted to help her. Also because she just really needed a distraction. So she decides to track down the estranged grandson of Emma, and she's like, I need to reconnect you two. He must know that you are sick. You shouldn't be alone, la 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 la. She tracks down the grandson. She knows him. She's met him once before, and they had like an instant, almost like a love at first sight sort of connection. So when she finds him, she fails to mention that the whole reason she was seeking him out before she really realized who he was because of the grandmother, which based off of any rom-com ever is never good. You should always come clean right away. So they talk, la la la, he finds out, he's hurt. And then this is like a time jump book. So it's like months and months when they're not talking, and then months where they meet up again and they're kind of a thing, but they're like, oh, I can't commit to this, la 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 la. Then more months go on, and you know, so on. All the while, Holly has actually grown really fond of Emma, and they have a true friendship, and so they're together in their lonely Christmases and they're grieving. They're there to help each other out. And listen, I was bawling over the audiobook, so I can only imagine just like fully eyes to paper here. My heart would be ripped in two. It still is, but you know what I'm trying to say. This book was beautiful, and it has bumped its way up to top 2 of my Christmas favorites. I need to reread One Day in December and see where it lands between these two, but my goodness, this is so high up on my list. So another amazing choice by you guys, because wow, I'm giving this one a 5-star rating, and if you do have Spotify Premium, you can listen to this one there. Not an ad, obviously, but you know, hit me up, Spotify, I'm here. Wow, wow. I cannot speak highly enough about this book. It was so good. I'm like sad that it's over. We're 2 for 2 in today's video, and I'm feeling good about the third one. So let's do a little book reveal before I get into the last book for this video. We have a special guest for the announcement. Okay, so okay. Stop. Popping our final poll on the screen here, and as you can see, the book that did not make it today lost by 20%, making this one pretty similar with the other two. You guys were kind of like all on the same page. So with 60% our winner, and the next book that I am reading for today's video is Woke Up Like This by Amy Leah. The book that this one was up against was Anxious People by Frederick Backman, and I've heard really good things about this book. So at a later date, let me go grab Woke Up Like This. It's upstairs, and let's talk about what that one is about. Okay, it's a little bit chaotic up here because I have been filming away, but this is our next read, Woke Up Like This by Amy Leah. This is her newest release, it just came out. This is a YA novel, and it's supposed to be kind of like 13 going on 30. Two main characters are high school seniors. They're at prom, and then suddenly they're 30 years old. And 13 Going on 30 is one of my all-time favorite movies, so I do honestly have high hopes for this one. It says either they've lost their minds or they've been drop-kicked into adulthood, forever trapped in the 30-year-old bodies of their future self, with each other as their only constant. So in this book, the two main characters go from prom to 30 together, so at least they're in it together. Charlotte and Renner discover all that's changed is the time that they've missed. Navigating a series of adventures and a confounding new normal, Charlotte and Renner will do whatever it takes to find a way back to 17. But when and if they do, what then? So I think that this will be very cute, and like just the book cover itself is very cute. I'm very excited for this one, and I think that it will be really good. I really enjoyed Amy Leah's X's and O's, so fingers crossed. But I am starting this one later today, so I will keep you guys updated on how it goes. I started Woke Up Like This last night, and I'm about halfway through right now. I'm on chapter 19, page 147, and so far I love this book. One thing that I got wrong, I guess I just misinterpreted it, but I thought that the two main characters, Charlotte and JT, were a couple when they time traveled to 30, but they actually hated each other. This book is written in Charlotte's point of view, which is absolutely hilarious. She is killing me. Basically, there was this whole thing where JT had asked her out, I believe freshman year, and then bailed on her before they went to the dance, and so she resents him for that, and just a whole bunch of other things. He beat her out for student body president. Anyways, Charlotte has this bucket list on how to create an epic senior year, all ending with prom, which PS, I never went to prom, but this girl is really putting a lot on prom. It's the final end to her high school experience, the beginning of her future. It has to be a perfect night. So anyways, these two wake up 30, and the morning of, they hated each other. They were in high school and they were actively going up against each other, never getting along, and now they're waking up in the same bed at 30 years old. So it's a bit confusing for them, but I think the writing in this is just amazing. This is so great for a YA audience especially, but I am cracking up at all of these pop culture references, and just the point of view of Charlotte is so funny. She's a little bit uptight. She's very studious, definitely a type A sort of person, whereas JT is more loosey-goosey, very hot and charming. Everybody loves him. So their dynamic is amazing. And the book does start off with Charlotte, you know, talking about starting her future and how great this night needs to be, and her mom is like kind of foreshadowing the rest of the book, like, hey, being an adult is not all it's cracked up to be. These people that you're friends with now, you may not see later in life. You know, just kind of like gearing her up to expect, not really disappointment, that sounds terrible, but just like it's not gonna be this fun free-for-all. Now Charlotte's 30 and realizing what adulting is. This is actually a very short read. I didn't realize that it was under 300 pages. It's actually 286. So a quick one, which is a nice way to end this video, but I am absolutely finishing this one today. It's such an easy read. So I'll get back to you guys with my final thoughts, but so far it's very, very cute. Okay, this book turned out so cute. Honestly, a really great way to end today's video. You guys definitely killed it with this one. I enjoyed every single book from this week, and they all rated really highly. I think that I would give this one 4 stars. There are like a lot of cringy or cheesy moments in here, but I feel like that's to be expected with romance in general, but like YA romance. Also, there was a lot of parallels in here, of course, from like 13 going on 30, duh, but also 17 again, because there's the friend of Matthew Perry. It's like super nerdy. His whole house is like decked out in Star Wars memorabilia, and in this book there is the Uncle Larry. He's also kind of nerdy, very well versed in physics and time travel. We all have an uncle like that. No, but I did think that was a cute little nod because I love the movie 17 again. I would definitely give this one 4 stars. The romance was cute. I like the 13 going on 30 vibe to it. It made me feel a little bit nostalgic for high school days, not necessarily being in high school because good lord, awful. More so just thinking how everything was such a big deal in high school. Like, she's putting so much stock into her high school prom, and just like all those feelings when you're a high schooler are just so big. Everything just seems so important, and I like that it was a short book. A nice easy read. So anyways, thank you guys for voting on what I read in today's video, because they all turned out really, really great. Let me know if you guys have read any of the books that I shared today and what you thought, and I will see you guys again tomorrow for another episode of Bookmas. Bye guys!